What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about God of War's potential release, everything that kind of happened this morning around PlayStation, and boy, was it a lot in a short period of time. So, I had posted earlier the God of War video talking about what I think is going on, and actually, I was kind of close. I don't think I was dead on, but I also don't think I was too far off at all. We basically had Bloomberg kind of come out, right, and say, well, here's the deal. Number one, the game's releasing in November. And number two, we're going to get the release date for what that day is in November at the end of this month. And now I read that as like the last week of this month. And the last week of June ends on that Thursday, the 30th. So honestly, that week I think is pretty likely either the Tuesday, the 28th, which by the way, that's my birthday, or the 30th, I think are good, opportunities to do it. And we'll talk about, what that means for God of War in a second. But also then you had Tom Henderson kind of come out and say he has heard similar. And he has also heard that there's a couple big announcements that Sony needs to make still. And so he wonders, now this is, I'm kind of having trouble in my own head, do I call it a rumor? It's not really, because he was kind of like throwing it out there. He didn't actually say, like, I heard there's going to be a state of play at the end of this month. He didn't say it like that. He said, I wonder if there would be a state of play at the end of this month, because you do have the Bloomberg article with God of War. And then he's also heard that there's more things Sony wants to say. And would they do that all in another state of play? Now, that connects back to what I said earlier today, in the last video, where I said, well, does two state of plays in the same month make sense? And again, that's a serious question. I don't know. I think it could easily, but also maybe they don't want to do it like that. So I struggle if it would be maybe a God of War state of play. I think that would work, and I think that would make sense. I don't think Sony would be against that. It could be a state of play again in general, like they did last week. That would be odd to have two of them in the same month, but whatever. Or it could simply be like a press release, like a God of War just on their YouTube, well, I guess on PlayStation's YouTube, on God of War's Twitter, whatever. They just drop it. It's a PlayStation blog post. They have a trailer. They have a release date. Maybe like Corey Barlog does like an interview or something. something, and that's it. I could easily see any of those three happening. But now at least we know, again, two things. Number one, November. And number two, that we would get the release date. And by the way, I guess it is a rumor that that's happening, but I mean, it's about as close to confirmed as you can get, and then we would get the release date at the end of this month. So that's good, right? They're not going to let us wait too long going into July, August, September without the release. And then coming out in November, now that I want to spend a little bit of time talking about November. That's an interesting time. Obviously people, when Starfield got delayed, people were saying how much of a baller move would it be for Sony to, release God of War on November 11th. I mean, that would be something kind of crazy. And I think it'll be late November. All right, that'll be my prediction. I think it'll be probably like the week before or the week of Black Friday. All right, so like that very towards the end of November. And I guess I feel confident about it, being there, and I feel good about it. The one thing I know a couple of people brought it up to me, Hogwarts. Hogwarts is the only thing that is a legit concern for me. Not just that I don't really need two behemoths of games to go up against each other, but also like myself as a person, I'm going to be playing God of War. And then, when Hogwarts or God of War comes out, I would drop literally every other game I'm playing at the moment to play them, right? So if I'm playing God of War, though, and then Hogwarts comes out 2 weeks later, and I don't finish God of War by then, or I'm going for the platinum or something, and then Hogwarts comes out, there's no question I'm stopping what I'm doing in God of War, and I have to move on to Hogwarts. I can come back, okay, that's legal, but I would, and again, this is just me, myself, I would move to Hogwarts. So, but yet again, we don't know. We don't even know for Hogwarts. Hogwarts could be December, could be November, could be next year, could have got delayed, we just don't know. So that's something to think about, but again, that doesn't impact everybody. I thought that was just something kind of, interesting to talk about, but that's going to be my guess is late November. Now, if it came out early November, actually all those issues with Hogwarts, if they were to happen, would actually be solved immediately. So we'll see what happens, and now we keep our eyes peeled, not just the last week of June, because that's going to be exciting, but Sony would, if it is a state of play or something like that, they would announce it the week before. So now we're talking the 20th to the 24th, we would get some sort of announcement. if that happens. So now, again, we have to keep our eyes open the next several weeks, which is totally fine. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on. If you guys want to follow me anywhere else, follow me on Twitter, subscribing to my second channel, any of that stuff. The links for all of them are in the description. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all on the next video.